Hello and welcome, and thank you for watching today's video. Today we're going to talk about why smart buyers are choosing fractional home ownership in Tulum. And before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Gasper Michel. I have 15 years in sales, 5 years in Riviera Maya, and I love tacos and tequila. Um, Here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the good and bad about Tulum, an introduction to Joyn Living, what is fractional home ownership, more about Joyn Living Tulum, fractional home properties for sale, and the benefits of fractional home ownership. And if you behave, we're going to talk about some hidden benefits of fractional home ownership. So let's get started. Now, this is what most people will tell you about. Some of the things that have happened recently. The national government has invested a lot of money into the local economy by providing an international airport. They're also installed the Tren Maya, which is running throughout the entire Yucatan Peninsula, and then also Jaguar National Park that recently expanded and is opening up more public beaches to the area, all to bring in tourism, all to bring in more money, all just to benefit the area. But here's what most people don't talk about. Let's talk about the bad and the ugly about Tulum. First off, it's transitioning into a city. I mean, a couple years ago, it was a sleepy beach town, and now it's growing to a city. So there's still some growing pains. There's still a lot of roads that are not paved. There's still a lot of problems with the electrical grid, the internet grid. So it's still transitioning. So the people that are taking the risk now and they're buying now are the ones that are going to get the biggest reward. Also, if you read what people say about Tulum, they say it's overhyped and underperformed, simply because it did boom so fast in the early 2020s that it was just a lot of developers came in and overpromised a lot of stuff, and now as it's starting to grow into a city. Obviously we're still growing, we're still expanding, and that's where we're at now. And then some people will say it's overdeveloped, but I just think it's underpopulated. The last census was a couple of years ago, and there was 50,000 residents. That didn't include digital nomads. Obviously, didn't include people that were on vacation. But I just think it's underpopulated. I think in the next probably 5 to 10 years, the population is going to grow to about 100,000. And obviously, that's going to require more housing, and it's also going to bring in more tourism to the area. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about Joyn Living Tulum, because obviously that could be you and your family or friends enjoying Tulum and enjoying the beach here. But the project, well, they partnered with a couple. Well, it's actually carried out by Alida Real Estate, and then they have partnerships with MX Concretos and other companies. But the biggest thing about it is a beautifully designed. It integrates nature and luxury perfectly. This is going to be an amazing community once it's finished, and I'm really excited to see it. But next, let's talk about what is fractional home ownership. So, fractional ownership, it allows you to buy a luxury property without having to deal with all the headaches. Since you're only a co-owner of the property, you also have shared expenses. So it's basically just a hassle-free way for you to own a vacation home in Tulum or also in other areas, obviously. Now, here in Tulum, we are located just 10 minutes away from the beach by bicycle, 7 minutes away from the beach in a car, and then you could also get quickly downtown. So very strategically placed, close to everything within driving or bicycle distance. And here is what the project is going to look like. It's going to be a total of 56 luxury apartments, and the best thing about it is the first three are already built. So not only does that allow, did allow the ability to see what a finished product will look like, so you can see what the demos would look like. But not only that, but it also provided the legal documents in order to to finish the rest of the project and sell it properly. If you hear any of the horror stories about Tulum and people selling properties that they don't actually own, or people selling properties and they don't have the right documents, it's simply because they did that. They did the lazy way out, they did the wrong way out, and this community is built the right way from ground to finish. So I'm really excited about how this is all coming together. But let's take a look at some of the properties that are for sale. The first one is the Gold Fraction. This one is actually my favorite, and it's also the most affordable. The reason I like it is because it's a true lock off. And what I mean by that is the lock off also has a kitchenette. So in the middle, you can see the main living area. But if you wanted to rent out the other side, or if you wanted, if your friends and family members visit or their in-laws visit, you can put them in the guest facility, or however you wanted to put it. You could stay in the guest one, and they could do it vice versa. But it just provides a ton of options for you, and flexibility. And this is this is my favorite one in this property. And here is the pricing on it. So as you can see here, the pricing on the Gold Fraction is very affordable. It starts at just $19,000. As you can see below, it does have a payment plan. You could put a down payment of $5,700 and just do the rest in 24 payments of $550. So as you can see, it's very affordable. Here you can see a couple of the details about how it is. It's going to be delivered in February of 2027. You can also get a 5% discount by paying it all up front, or you can get a 6% discount if you buy 2 or more fractions. And the fractions here are displayed in USD, but they will be in Mexican pesos. So just to kind of give you a heads up on that. But here is the next property that is for sale. The next fraction, this is the Platinum Fraction. One of the things I love about this one is its wide open designs. The windows are floor to ceilings. So beautifully designed, great layout. In that on the left hand side of the picture, that's the kitchen, the living room area, all in one space. And then as you go out, there's the one bedroom and then the other bedroom. So leaves plenty of space for gathering together, sharing times together in the kitchen and the living room. It's just a beautifully designed project. Here's the pricing on that. This one starts at $24,000, and very affordable. And the same thing with the 5% and the 6% discount. And here we have the Diamond Fraction. The biggest difference between the Platinum and the Diamond is the pool you can see at the top right or bottom left. It does have a private garden and a private pool. So that's the biggest thing. It has a little bit more living space outdoors and the private pool. So these are all obviously located on the ground floor, and the Platinum is on the floors above that. So as you can see here, beautifully designed, but same layout as the other one. As I mentioned, it just has the different, the pool, and for not a lot more money. So for this one, starts at $29,000. And if you can see in the writing, the difference between the $60,000 and $29,000 is if it's regular season or high season. I forgot to mention that earlier. But here's a little bit more about the community. As you can see, it's very beautifully designed. It just integrates perfectly with nature, allows plenty of air to flow through, allows plenty of nature to come through. So you'll really love this community. I had the fortune of checking it out already. The 3 that I told you are already built, and this is going to come together beautifully. Now here are some pictures. These are not renders. You can see this has beautiful finishes, beautiful layouts. Everything is completely put together well. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but this is a completely turnkey purchase. Whether it's an investment or you're going to use it for your friends and family, either way, you won't have to make additional purchases. You can literally just show up with your suitcase and stay here for a month, or your guests can do the same. So here are some of the amenities that you'll be able to enjoy here. Things like the rooftop pool. It's also going to have a co-working area if you need to, if you're going to be in town for a month, but you still have to work, you can have a co-working area so your family can, be in their own space or however you want to do it. It's also going to have a gym, restaurant, yoga area. So just tons of great amenities. But if you're looking at it as just an investment, here's a 10-year projection of what that's going to look like. Now, on the left, you can see that after 6 years, it's basically going to double in value. And not only that, you're also going to get rental cash flow, and then also, like I mentioned, the capital gains. And the way they're able to do that is, first off, they do have it. If you're going to buy it as just an investment, the first year they're providing a guaranteed rental income. And here you can see they'll basically pay you in order to keep your, if you buy it just as an investment, they'll be able to guarantee you your rental income for the first year. And after that, you can choose to do whatever you want if you want to keep it as an investment. But it's basically just a guarantee that you have some income coming in your first year. So let's talk about some of the benefits of Joyn Living. As you can see here, you will have access to beach clubs, exclusive transportation, unlimited use of amenities. You'll also have restaurant discounts. Other things that you'll enjoy, as we mentioned earlier, the building equity, capital gains. And like I said, just a wonderful community that you'll be able to enjoy, for years and years down the future. And as I mentioned earlier, you can also share your property if you want to share it with your friends, family members, business associates. You can also choose to do that. There's no limitations on, who you can let borrow that, or as I mentioned, you can rent it out, whatever you wanted to do with it. But as I mentioned earlier, there's also some hidden benefits that a lot of people don't know about. First of all, there's no hidden cost. Typically, when you buy a property here in Mexico, whether it's fractional or whole ownership, you still have to pay closing. If you're a foreigner, you have to buy a fideicomiso. That typically adds 10% to the cost of your property. With this, it's already structured as a fideicomiso. So when you buy the property, there's no additional cost. So you would just buy the property, and then there will be a yearly amount that you'll pay in based off of which property you get, but it's very affordable, and it's much more affordable than renting an apartment here in Tulum for a month. So very affordable. Second, as I mentioned earlier, there's no need for fideicomiso. There's no need for paying a lawyer. There's no need for all this other additional stuff. When you buy the property, you will get all those in the documentation. So there's no extra additional costs. And also, as I mentioned earlier, you can mix and match for unlimited usage. So if you wanted to buy one just for yourself to enjoy, you could do that. Or if you wanted to buy one or two as just an investment, you can do that also. So tons of flexibility, tons of options for you to check out. So if you've made it this far in the video, first off, I want to thank you. Second of all, you might have some interest. So here, if you wanted to purchase a fraction, here's how it would work. You would choose the ones you like the best, select your month, define your payment method, and in order to reserve the unit, you'd pay $1,000 USD, and this is a 100% refundable deposit. But what that does is that allows the lawyers to start the paperwork. Basically, you would submit all your information. That way we can start the process. And then once you agree to the terms, you sign and pay the down payment. So it's very simple. Everything is very streamlined. But if you have any questions about anything I went over, I will have all my information in the description. And also you can comment or anything like that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.